Hi, this is Dr. Kerry Johnson. I hope you're enjoying our little weekly fireside chats. Right now is a very important time for us to be talking once a week at least. We're coaching on a weekly basis, but I want to give you these talking points so you can make your RPC phone calls more informative, more cogent, and more relevant. A couple of things. Number one, always remember to only talk about 3 talking points when you do a market update. Don't forget now that the RPC phone call is catch-up, update, bridge to the 5-step bridge by using questions like, how do you feel about this? And then obviously you want to go through the whole 5-step bridge process. So a couple things. Number one, unemployment now is at 20%. We have a normal 70% unemployment rate. New employment applications come in on a weekly basis. Last week, you ready for this? 2.4 million. 20% unemployment rate right now. I want you to also know that the unemployment currently is worse than any time in America's history, except since actually the 1929 Great Depression, not the recession, the Great Depression. Number two, the market currently is down by 27%. We measured that because the top of the market was at February 12th at 29,000 something. Now it's 27% less than it was on February 12th. We're testing the bottoms now. If you have a client that says to you, well, it'll come back, we tested the bottom once this last week, market rally, and it went back down also on Friday. But we'll keep testing those bottoms until we find it some kind of bottoming process. It's also really important to know that it's likely, not maybe, it's likely to go down by another 20%. And that market will keep doing that until it finds a point that it sees that the COVID-19 virus impact on the economy will bottom out, stabilize, and start going a little bit back up. So that's next. Number 3, I want you to let your clients know that we're in a process right now, according to what the President Trump said on Sunday, that we'll probably see the high point of the COVID-19 virus hit on April 15th, April 20th, and we should stabilize by May 1st. So those are the 3 talking points. Number 1, unemployment is now at 20%, worse than any time since the 1929 Great Depression. Number 2, the market is now 27% down from February 12th. It's likely to go down by another 20%. And number 3, we won't see these things stabilize at all until right about probably the market, especially economically, about May and also June. So the next thing I want to remind you of, and these are things you already know, is number 1, when you go past the update, don't say to people, what do you think? Don't say to them, I'd like to book an appointment with you. I want you to ask how they feel. They're terrified, they're panicked. Most people don't know where to go. And here's the most important part. Nobody is calling these people right now. So you've got to call your clients and prospects, not just clients, but prospects. And don't forget, when you call clients, I want you to say, how do you feel? All the money you have with me is 100% protected. Is there any money out there or assets that might be at risk that you might be concerned about? And just let them talk. With prospects, I want you to say, how do you feel? But remind them of the last conversation. And if you don't remember what their needs are, just take 3 out of the 5 things we always talk about. Last time we talked, you were very worried about running out of money, volatility, and taxes. What have you done so far to protect yourself against any more losses? Now, do that with a client and a prospect. If the client says, well, I have this $100,000 in a TD Ameritrade account, I want you to say, well, tell me about what that's for. What are your goals for that? Then I want you to say, just like prospects, what have you done so far to protect yourself against any more losses? And they won't have any answers there at all. And say, does that concern you? Then go through the rest of the 5-step bridge, recap, trial close, book an appointment. Okay, so another way you can do that too is if the market goes down by the 20%, what's your plan to protect yourself from any more losses? Does that concern you? One thing that Matt McIntyre said to me on Saturday was that we have this great opportunity right now to be able to get people into an annuity to protect themselves against any more losses, but then have growth. So when someone says, I'm going to wait for it to come back, wouldn't it be wonderful? Don't say this on the telephone. Say this when you meet with them face-to-face, part of the solution. But wouldn't it be wonderful to say to them, if we could talk about something that would prevent losses, but still get growth, still help you when the market comes back without any more risk, would that be helpful for you? So we want to do that during the solution presentation stage. Okay, so 2 last things. Number 1, if you're doing the RPC phone call effectively, your closing ratio on appointments and opportunities will be 38%. Let me say that one more time. If you're doing the RPC phone call effectively, you will get 38% compliance for either they want to book an appointment with you or they want you to call them back in a couple of weeks to talk about assets they have, et cetera, et cetera. 38%. If you're not getting 38%, you're not listening, you're not doing the steps effectively, you just need some practice. And the second thing I want to remind you of, right now, well, actually, for the last couple of months, I've been saying, please, please, please make 2 RPCs every day. We no longer have that luxury. We have to make 5 RPCs every single day. 5 RPCs every single day. What that means is, if you could do 25 RPCs during a week, that means you're going to book right about, I'm an MBA, but my math needs to get a little bit spruced up, but we're going to book about 10 appointments from 25 RPCs. That's going to make you a lot of money. And here's the best part. It's going to make your clients and prospects really, really happy. Okay, so that's our market update. These are the key points I want you to focus on. Don't forget, only 3 talking points, and then go right to, how do you feel about this? I've heard a couple of my Peak Trust clients say, so the market's kind of shaky right now. How do you feel? Or they'll say something like, pretty crazy stuff isn't out there. So, what do you think? How do you feel? No, we have to have 3 salient, cogent, relevant talking points. And those are the ones to use this week. Okay, I'll give you another update next week. And please, please, please make those 5 RPCs every single day.